Hey guys, Night Ops here, and we are back with some more Hearts of Iron 4, where we are playing the Old World Blues Fallout mod. So last episode, we kind of just declared war on everyone that was left, which isn't really that many people. It's a lot less factions than I thought, honestly, mostly because of the map filler mod. I just thought originally the kudzu area was the only area that was the map filler, but no, I forgot that there is some other mods that haven't actually been updated because the Rust Belt Rising mod hasn't been updated. And then we have the Eastern Reconstruction Authority, which is pretty much like us, but they're the Western. So one of you guys said I shouldn't have declared war on these guys because they're Enclave too. But the thing you got to think about is we are the reformer side of the Enclave. They are not. They are the elite side of the Enclave. They're pretty much the purest side of the Enclave is what they are. Even though it's funny because they're in intellectuals, like they have a lot of the intellectual ideology as like their most thing for Eden, but Colonel Autumn unplugged Eden, and so he just took power from Eden. Hence the reason why you see the party leader of the intellectuals is Eden, but the elites are in power because of Colonel Autumn. He pretty much threw it into a military coup and just unplugged Eden. So technically, we're just putting intellectuals back in power for them because they would rather see us dead than, in power. Is how I kind of look at that. But you do have this other enclave, the Van Buren down here, but they're also elites. I kind of forgot they are also elites. The thing I think about is most enclave factions are elites. They are purists. So that's one of the things you kind of gotta remember there. We did make it into Florida, which these guys actually have some artillery. I can't see what's in it though, because I do want to see what their templates look like. Okay, so this is just a lot of motorized. Okay, so they have a demolitions and a fire team supporting their infantry. Oh, wait, no, that's not a artillery unit. It's an actual artillery piece like we have. Oh, so they actually built some artillery pieces. That's kind of crazy, actually. I'm a little surprised. I'm not going to lie. I do need some supply over here, though, to kind of help these guys out a little bit as we move into Florida. I kind of like the idea of us like role-playing cutting through the kudzu and just being like, hey, sir, like if we're like, say if you're St. Petersburg here, and it's like, sir, we have reports from the border that there's like smoke overhead in the distance and it seems to be getting closer. And they're like, oh, something pre-war must have caught fire from the kudzu overgrowth. It's fine. It'll just burn a little bit and then go out. And then all of a sudden, all you see are like black power armored figures and troops running out of the kudzu at you. Okay, we've linked to NORAD. Ashton, Hopeville to NORAD line. As NDOC mission expands, a direct link to NORAD command center has been established. NORAD's early warning system and greater access to classified pre-war nuclear information would go a long way in keeping America safe from the threat of pre-war nuclear weapons falling into the wrong hands. This has also allowed for NORAD to take stock of what nuclear weapons we have recovered, creating a backup site in case NDOC is taken offline. They've also begun monitoring Chicago, though most information coming out of the Enclave-controlled city is scarce at best. I cannot wait for like the Rust Belt Rising mods and stuff to be updated and completed. I think overall, the last time I looked at the Rust Belt Rising mod, most things were completed except for one thing, which was like the focuses and stuff, and I think it said 70%. I didn't look to see when that was last updated, though. That just leaves one final question. And so I kind of got to look at that because I really want to know when that's done. Because I would love to also play the Chicago Enclave. Playing the Chicago Enclave sounds like it would be really fun. Let's go with the nuclear question. One of you guys did bring up the EPA because it does have some story stuff to it. I do plan on doing that. That is something that I do plan. That's why I put the EPA guy, Director Coils, as active so that I can actually take that. Yeah, so we're on the nuclear question here. I need to take an airfield down here is what I need to... Oh, there's an airfield literally right there. That is actually perfect. Push those guys, and then I think the airfield's in this one, correct? Yes, okay, so it's a... Yeah, move into that one. And then actually cut this off a little bit. Take this port, because if I take that port, that'll supply us there. Changing of the guard. It was a light, snowy day at Colorado Springs, despite forecasts to the contrary. It fell regardless. None, or almost as if the heavens were weeping, in the center of a reclaimed park stood a newly built monument, a single black obsidian obelisk. On the side, dozens of names were engraved, those who were on duty at NORAD on 23rd October 2077, those who watched the world end in nuclear fire, those who never made it out of the facility alive, those whose remains were recovered, identified, and entombed beneath the obelisk. President Douglas Grant stood before the monument. Around the president stood a few military personnel and the new staff of a restored NORAD, of whom would soon begin work protecting America's skies once more. A crowd had also gathered to watch the ceremony, though more from curiosity than understanding of what the monument represented. The president approached the monument with a somber expression and saluted the fallen airmen and officers. Military members followed suit, as well as the crowd in varying degrees. Not a single word was uttered, a moment of silence for those who had fallen. Rest easy, your watch is done. God, dude, that kind of gave me shivers. There's one thing that I loved about the military. It was definitely the brotherhood and like the camaraderie that you have. A lot of times when people talk about missing the military after they get out, a lot of times it's that brotherhood that they're missing. Not like kind of stuff that happened itself. One of you guys did say I should finish off the kudzu with paratroopers. I didn't realize that they actually don't have victory points. I think you actually have to walk through every piece of kudzu, like you're actually chopping it down. Because the only capital that's really near it, and when you guys notice this, I didn't notice this. You guys have crazy good eyes. When I was declaring war on everybody, one of you guys noticed this, the NCR East Coast Expedition. I never noticed that. It says it's unoccupied, though. So I'm assuming it's not a faction as of right now. But it does have all these bonuses. That's what's tripping me up about it. But I'm assuming not, because it's ruler 100%. But it has stuff in it. But it's no... I'm so confused. I guess we'll see when we get closer to it. But it says unoccupied wasteland. Unless it was their expedition, and when the NCR fell to us, that expedition just got taken out. Like, it just doesn't become a thing anymore. Like, there's no controller. Like, it didn't hand it over to me. It didn't become, like, anything like that. It just became unoccupied. But I think it is probably because of the map filler mod. Okay, we have this port now. Let's move towards Perry, Lake City, and Jacksonville with you. And we'll just kind of cut this all off. I could probably try to walk it towards the capital, though. I gotta look at mods, too. Because I do actually... I'm thinking about doing a... Or I'm probably gonna do a Mr. House playthrough next. Because a lot of you guys have expressed wanting to see that. So, I am looking at doing that, too. Ooh, actually... They're actually moving a lot of guys over here. Okay, so that's just there. Tracking the Enclave. In the years since the fall of Navarro, there has been another Texas legend. The legend of a Colonel Sam Houston V, who led a stray group of Enclave to Texas to rebuild after the devastating battle While we have no way of confirming the existence of such a colonel, it's probably a bastardized tale of the group that fled east to Raven Rock with Dr. Autumn. However, a few of our soldiers in the Trans-Pecos region claim to have found evidence of an Enclave force that had passed through. So another tale of Texas, Colonel Houston, I presume. How does that name sound familiar? Let's see, how does that name sound familiar? And that's just an economic resurgence. Oh, he just got surrounded. Moving to that. The Wade Randall, an escaped Legion slave, has been found in the area surrounding Route 95. He apparently escaped from the guards while they were distracted by rad scorpions, making a run for it into our territory. According to him, he is a former officer of the NCR, his expertise being in naval invasion, it would seem. He now offers his service to the military and is ready to serve once more. Hoorah. So Major General Wade Randolph Randall becomes a commanding officer. What is he? A meme? So wait, is he a field marshal or like, yeah, commanding officer. Yeah, I think he is. That's kind of cool. He can give probably some, yeah, there he is. Oh, that is actually baller. Okay, because I do have, once my Marines get trained up, I'll have to put him in as the field commander. Or commanding officer. Yeah, pretty much field marshal. Okay, these guys are still doing decent on supply, as long as they kind of keep going there, because that logistics company's keeping them alive. They are starting to attrition, though. Crap. Retake parry, so you don't get too cut off from these guys. Oh, wait, we did take an airfield. Oh, wait. I think I had... Oh, yeah, okay. I do actually have air wings attached to these guys, too. I thought I did, but I wasn't sure if I actually was... Or if I did actually have air wings attached to them. So let's do CAS, since our air can reach over here. Now, should I just do another 150 CAS? And then... Oh, that's getting kind of annoying already. Okay, I'm going to have to deal with that here in a second. But... And then another 150 air, but our air that we currently have is giving us green air. For sure. Yeah, let's just do... We'll do this, actually. Let's do another... 100. Close air support. And then that leaves us with 50. We'll just put another 50 fighters here. Yeah, fighters. So what's considered our best fighter right now? I think it's just the jet fighter that we have, honestly. Yeah. What's that? Oh, that's in my maritime jet fighters. That's for my, God, aircraft carrier when it gets built. It's okay, yeah. So these normal jet fighters here is going to be my best. And I'm actually just going to have these guys air support over Central Florida. Start taking out some of their other fighters there. Okay, I took care of that flashing real quick. Also, at the time of recording this, we are at 9,999 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. Is this considered it is a supply hub? Actually, you know what? Push through that. Push towards that. I also want you guys. How many of you are on this front? Not as many of you. There's a little bit more of you guys on this front. There's a decent mix. Is the issue, because I was thinking about doing the... there's just so many of them everywhere is the thing. I need you guys to take all of the kudzu here, so you can move towards Florida. Because they're actually putting up a good fight against this, but it's not all of our troops either. As some of our troops are slowly making their way into Florida, though, which is funny. We're just slowly, like, making our way out of the kudzu. Dude, this power armor unit's surviving a good bit. Like, a good bit of time. Okay, let's see what we can restore here. I want to do something that will just get us some stuff. I wish these took were a little quicker, though, because these take a long time to do, but you have so many options. Okay, let's spend the money on that. Or you could just do multiple of them at once, as long as you have the civilian factories to do it. Because like I said, I do feel like that takes way too long to do a lot of those. Oh, we could do factory output boost, but we lose minus 15%. 15. Oh, we don't need that. I guess that's nicer earlier game. I wish we had one for Navy, though. That was good to go. Find, power on all, build more. Let's deploy red team against them. Oh, we have a installation management command for a naval base. Let's do that. Reforge the riches of the north. Okay. So we can restore a lot of those. I'm going to leave DEF CON the way it is. Because I think I did DEF CON 4. I think I just brought it up once. Okay, nice. So that's like all of the options we currently have here. Okay. Okay, we're pushing the southern section here. God, dude, they're getting hit kind of hard here now. I need you guys to keep pushing. Oh, we have a rocket ready. Okay, let's do this. Let's see if we get anything new out of this launched rocket. I'm just wanting to see aliens, man. Show me aliens. Okay, we're actually pushing this right here.
Holy shit!
We got turned into ghouls. I'm serious. A navigation error had them pass too long into the Earth's Van Allen belts. We've read this before. I'm going to reread it. Within a matter of seconds, they were blasted with enough radiation to kill a man 4 times over. Instead of the sweet release of death, however, they were ghoulified, skin flaked off, a hair fell out, and they have the raspy voice of ghouls are known for. The USSA director has terminated the mission, and decontamination teams are standing by to retrieve the Delta X that still leaves the crew. Oh, I'm sorry to hear this. Well, they're mutants now. Kill them. I love that option so much. Okay, just hold here. You're pretty much gone. We're gonna... Oh, dang. I was like, there's no way St. Petersburg just fell. I was like, there's zero possibility. Like, we haven't even made it their capital yet. Will Faster pardon? Will Faster... Okay, so we pardoned this guy, because this was the first option we ever got to pardon somebody. Will Faster, convicted leader of Tucson, and who aided the Legion during the war, has been partially pardoned by the president in a move that has been welcomed by the city of Tucson's and met with scorn with members of the military and others in higher echelons of government. President B. Get Leader? Oh. Okay. That's just... I think it's messed up because I don't think this is fully completed. I think they typed that in wrong because I think it's supposed to get the name of a certain leader. But I think they forgot the left bracket. And so it just says B. Get Leader, which is the code that is supposed to emphasize, get that leader's name. Spoke to reporters saying that Will's situation was that of a leader who was only acting in the benefit of his people. Sometimes those leaders need to make the hard decisions if it is in the interest of protecting their people. While this pardon won't wipe away the crimes and pain from the war with the Legion, is a step in healing and recognizing that in hard times, tough decisions must be made. A separate statement released from the Western White House has detailed that while pardon of life imprisonment, Will Faster is to be under continual house arrest and monitored 24/7, though is allowed to see race events and the like that has become the culture of Tucson. It might be wrong to pardon him. We lose 1% legitimacy and 100 PP. Ah, that's not bad though. I'm kind of glad I made that decision still. God, dude, they've got so many troops over here. It's like southern section here. They killed off my first unit to actually be surrounded and killed off this game. Was done by the St. Petersburg in Florida. Of course, it's like this Florida man down there that took them out. Took out a whole battalion of power armored unit. The nuclear question. Douglas Granite had a decision before them. One not seen since Truman first gave the order that started this long circus show. Oh, I wonder if this is new nukes or if it's old nukes. Because the new nukes, I don't know if you guys have seen them, will wipe out organization of like a lot of units in like just an area. NDOC and NORAD were recovering nuclear weapons left and right, but the question on many lips was whether to arm the bombs or destroy them. Many argue that the myriad of threats in the Wasteland from Chicago to beyond necessitate the need for nuclear weapons. Who knows when, or who knows, we would come across a threat that a soldier in power armor and rifle couldn't handle. Others were against using the same weapons that ended the world, or the old world, pointing out that eventually there would be a time when the idea of using nuclear bombs would seem palatable. Like here in a minute if I get them. Just like at the onset of the Great War, and we would have learned nothing. On the president's desk sat 2 executive orders drafted up by staffers and left for the president to ponder over what to sign and decide the fate of the Wasteland's future. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I really want to use the nukes, but at the same time, as reformers, I feel like we would probably do nuclear disarmament. But also, the thing you got to think about, for where we are right now, we have a high chance, if you remember from the previous episodes, that China might still be around. And if China might still be around, they might still have nukes. And if China holds a grudge, they could technically nuke us. So you could dismantle our nuclear arsenal or maintain the nukes. I feel like in this sense, we'd possibly maintain the nukes. Like I said, we've, so far, because we sent on an expedition, we have seen in Hawaii, though, our trade ship that's running the the U.S. flag. We did see another naval ship that's running the Chinese Communist flag. So there's a high chance they still could be around, is the thing. We're going to maintain our nuclear arsenal. Now, does that mean we're technically using the nuclear arsenal? No, not right now. But like you said, you know, it could be palpable at some point. It's possible. Oh yeah, let's fund the EPA, because one of you guys did tell me we'll get a decent amount of options for stuff with that. I like how we didn't actually take any of these. And how are you attacking us from behind, good sir? Okay, I had to pause for that. That actually got really loud. Like extremely loud, like with the Geiger counter sound and stuff. Like it killed my ears. And the funny thing is as I was paused, we just now hit 10,000 subscribers. So we just hit 10,000. We are in the double-digit thousands now. We are 90,000 away from 100,000. That's the way I look at it. It has been, I think it's like 1 year, 7 months, and a few days, I want to say, since since the channel's been started. Because it was March 12th, 2024, I believe, when I started this channel. And it took us a year, 7 months, and a few days to reach 10,000 subscribers. I honestly really want to thank you guys. This has meant a lot to me. My ultimate goal was 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I was not expecting to actually reach 10,000 this month. Like it's pretty crazy. I am like flabbergasted. Like I had it on my other monitor because I was watching it, because it was like 10,988, 10,999, and then it just ticked up to 10,000. Oh my god. Okay, let's return to this though. The return of nukes. A world without nuclear weapons would be less stable and more dangerous for all of us. Margaret Thatcher. We must protect our interests. It always comes down to the interests. Okay, let's connect up these roads here. So this way we can get our main supply line roads set up. But now the question is, can I actually nuke somebody? Oh, wait, this isn't there. Oh, I'm kind of dumb. I thought this was their capital here. This is a different group. They're actually down here in St. Petersburg. Yeah. Okay, let's try to get a surround right here. Let's like micro this a little bit. So something I thought about is to kind of tell you guys a little bit about Hoi4, because I have a lot of hours in Hoi4. There are still some like finer stuff that I don't really understand myself too much, like multipliers in battle. I don't know a lot of the multipliers off the top of my head. I know what's considered good and what's considered bad multipliers for the most part. Like when it comes to like, you know, adding too much infantry, line width, stuff like that. But battle planning. So one of the main reasons why you see me do bulk infantry is because they're decent infantry that'll hold the line. They're actually good infantry templates in this mod that'll help push the line too. But I'll do a little bit of microing here or there to get surrounds and stuff. But I've kind of bulldozed everybody in this. The Enclave Reformer is kind of OP. You do get a lot of strength, and I did it on challenging with like a minus 33% across the board. Maybe I should have done it another route, like not like probably making it even harder, stats wise. But I wasn't expecting it to be like this ultimately. I actually need to put some of these guys over here. Which has been like a massive surprise to me too. No, most of these areas we've already pushed into, because like a lot of this doesn't push anywhere. We have to go through this to get down here unless we naval invade across. Like once all this is gone, they're just going to be pushing into Florida. So I guess if anything, I could add them here to just help out with this. And I'll actually have them spearhead because they have tanks and stuff too. They probably need more infrastructure there. But what I should say is, because I kind of got off track there, you know, ADHD brain and stuff. Frontlining a battle like this, where there is a chance you will lose more troops this way. You'll definitely lose more equipment. So as long as you're making enough equipment and have a good stockpile, you can battle plan to your heart's content. And it could work, it could not. But the thing with battle planning is you get more experience for your generals and units. You also get more army experience from battle planning. Those are like the main 3 reasons why you would want to battle plan is army XP, general XP, and then like unit XP, because you can, you know, rank up units and stuff like that. And those are like some of the main reasons, because you get more XP overall because you have more people fighting overall. Oh, we reached 10,001 subscriber. But that's like one of the main reasons why you would kind of battle plan. Because a lot of times what I see people do, usually, especially in multiplayer games, they'll usually get some basic infantry template that can at least hold against somebody, and then have that infantry template just hold the line. They won't actually push. They only push when another force pushes. And then they'll usually do, like, let's say, like a tank unit or just like a mountaineer unit that's like all thickened out. And, ooh, actually go for that. Go for that straight. And then they'll usually try to do like surrounds and micromanage that unit themselves. And then the other unit will just kind of come in and back them up. But normally, if you have overwhelming strength, just battle planning your line, you can just usually just overrun. Oh my god, okay. The expedition begins. Ooh, is this the expedition into China? Oh, it is. This is what I was talking about. The expedition begins. The route to Hawaii was calm and without incident. Only a few sightings of ghoul whales and krakens to keep gun crews alert and responsive. Near the islands, however, radar picked up several large unidentified ships moving at high speed, too high for vessels of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Oh, so we went back to Hawaii. Did China take over Hawaii during this time while we were gone? Our captain has reported seeing several ships flying the flag of China, and they are closing in. They don't appear to be on an intercept course. However, the image our captain sent us indicate they are not civilian vessels. Oh, so they're not looking to intercept our navy or our expedition ships, but it does look like they probably are on the way to the United States. They're either A, coming to see, to pick up their like Chinese remnants, which we murked the Shi already and stuff. Well, we did murk them, but we integrated them. We didn't fully get rid of them. So technically, with the Reformer playthrough, we integrated them, so that might help us here. To 2, they could be looking to come here to take over the United States because, resources and stuff and technology. They might not even think we're fully, like, capable right now. Because we did go face to face with a Chinese naval ship in Hawaii, our trade ship. Dude, I wish the whole world was formed. Because this would have been so cool in this mod. So say, like, you reform the United States and stuff. So, like, you do this, and then it's like you have to look to Europe afterwards. And then say, like, while you're doing this, China's doing this. While you're doing this, Russia's doing this. And then, like, just so many other small factions. And so, like, you finish this, and then it's like, oh, God. We have to fight the behemoth that is possibly now Europe. Oh, man. The ideas, like, what this could turn into is, like, phenomenal. So keep me posted. So gets effect, Flashpoint. Oh, are we about to have a standoff with the Chinese? Ooh. Church of the Silo. Forward units have encountered a crazed religious cult inhabiting one of our old missile bases. Thankfully, they had no intention of launching the missiles, but were instead releasing and worshipping the radiation within, which is still cause for alarm all the same. While they were at risk, or at first friendly, they began shooting at us once we told them to vacate the government property they were trespassing on. Thankfully, their radiation-based weapons, it's the Church of Adam and stuff, were utterly useless against ghoul infantry, who were able to rapidly overrun their defenses and secure the site. Our engineers are now working, or is it Children of Adam? I can't remember now. I think it's also called the Church of Adam. Our engineers are now working to get the base up and running, adding more missiles to the stockpile that we have in Hopeville. It seems that the United States is back to being a superpower, even if we don't have the whole country back. Great. 2 nuclear missile bases. We'll come back to this later. Oh, God. This Church of Adam. Oh, so yeah, Church of Adam. Yeah. Won't be a future problem, right? The Baron's Land. What game is that from, actually? It's a turn-based game. Is it Wasteland? Wasteland 2? Wasteland 3? I think that's Wasteland 3, right? Because this is like one of the first bosses you fight, in quotations, if I remember. That big truck with the big cannon on the top. But I can't remember if that's actually what that's from. That's what it looks like it's from. The trade caravan going through the former Baron's Erie. Let me see, does it? Okay, so it doesn't say there. Have complained about a recent rise in raider attacks along their route. So much so that several caravan complaints have called for the FBI to assist. The senior agent in charge placed suspicion immediately on the leader of the former Erie, Augustus Bailey, who had started offering caravan security at increased rates. We're not stupid. We've seen this before in New Reno. The Hub and Freeside, just short of accusing him, the FBI pressed the question if the Baron knew of anyone who would be dumb enough to create a protection racket, because that person would find themselves behind bars for a very long time. The SAC reported the Baron grew very reserved and declined knowing anyone. It was sheer coincidence that the FBI's local field office was targeted with sniper fire the next day, where several agents were gunned down. The Bureau is requesting an executive action to resolve this issue. Show him how we did it in New Reno. So just like the Barons in California, 200 or 350k, turn him into goo of Barons and bailouts. Let's show him what we did in New Reno. Let's spend the money. The Great Breach and the Deadline. Across the river from Rapid City lurks a particularly nasty variant of mutant and has plagued these lands for centuries. In the form of a great horde, an Air Force scouting mission located the source of this horde. A breach in the old Midwest containment depot, now known as the Deadline, starting its life as a quarantine zone for the new plague. The depot became a dumping ground where the pre-war government began placing dissidents, Jesus, communist sympathizers, and other unwanted individuals. Now it seems that the undying horde has come home to roost as mutants escape the depot in droves while Wasteland survivors try desperately to hold them back. To say nothing of the threat this outbreak poses to the Wasteland, The records stored in the depot could implicate the Enclave and destroy what legitimacy we've regained over the past few years. It might be best to launch a sustained campaign to clear out the Horde and the deadline once and for all. Fire, fire, fire solves everything. That would be cool if there was an event, kind of like how, God, what's it called? Total War Warhammer does the endgame events, where say like that, like the Enclave, where like it starts a ghoul faction of like a mutated ghoul faction, like a zombie thing, like that zombie mod that's actually in Hoi4 too. And then they'll declare war on everybody and then try to push out slowly against everyone. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Reclamation Army Depot. Most of our pre-war bases and forts are either stripped clean, rotting away, or post-war maladies. Though most often it's robots due to the automation caused by the Sino-American War. Bases as well preserved as the Sierra Army Depot are few and far between, so it became a great surprise when the Army located the so-called Reclamation Army Depot and found General H-47, who not only recognized our codes, but recognized us as Enclave. The good robot general, self-proclaimed mind you, has been dutifully carrying out his orders at the depot for the past 200 years. Though, we actually read this. This sounds different, though. Like, it's the same number, same everything. Though he's been distracted by the mutant escapees from Deadline, he's more than happy to relinquish command of the base over to the U.S. Army, as 200 years has not been kind to his circuitry and servo joints. Oh, okay, so this is just a different robot at a different area. I think it's just the same number of, like, model robot. Recreating Cheyenne. Cheyenne, Wyoming, though scarred by the Great War, managed to survive as a modest but vital hub along the post-war caravan routes. Over the years, the city became a minor economic power in the region, a waypoint for traders and travelers navigating the harsh, irradiated landscape. Those scavenging in Denver found that Cheyenne was the perfect place to sell what they found in the city, since trade caravans headed in all directions. However, the fragile peace was shattered when a fanatical ghoul known as the Great Glowing One arrived in the region. Driven by a twisted belief that ghoulification was the next stage of human evolution, he began forcibly converting others into ghouls, creating a fanatical cult that terrorized the city and its surrounding areas. Suffice to say, by the time of our arrival, the situation had become dire. The once thriving trade routes were disrupted, and the city's human population was rapidly diminishing under the Great Glowing One's reign of terror. Even our ghouls were horrified at what was going on, and it was these ghouls that spearheaded the attack into Wyoming. With the threat eliminated, not only has the economic progress of Cheyenne been restored, we've officially reinstated, I guess, it as the capital of Wyoming, marking a new chapter in history. The money flowing into the city, as well as the control it has over the nearby trade routes, has given us an edge in establishing order in the region, especially since our efforts are still hamstringed hampered in Colorado. Hell over Helena. Or Helena? I think it's supposed to be Helena. Helena, Montana. That might be Helena, Montana, then. I don't know. A city once proud and prosperous was reduced to a shadow of its former self after the Great War. Despite the devastation, Helena managed to endure becoming a minor economic power along the post-war caravan routes. The city served as a crucial waypoint for traders and travelers moving through the Great Helena Valley. However, Helena's fragile existence was constantly threatened by the Storm Mongers, a brutal raider tribe known for their sadistic practice for capturing people and turning them into kites, along with other methods of offering people to their so-called sky god. Dude, if I ever go into a valley somewhere and, like, I see kites in the air, like, say when I was in the army, if I got deployed to a war zone and I'm like, oh, I'm heading to this fob, and as I'm going to this fob in this valley, all I see are kites off in the distance with bodies hanging from them. Dude, I'm leaving the military. I'm like, I'm going AWOL, so you guys throw me in prison. I'm not being out here. I'm not getting put on a kite. Like, Jesus. The MacArthur Detachment and the Brotherhood of Steel did battle with these raiders, until our operation in the area brought an end to their gruesome ways. Hopefully now the practice of kiting will be a thing of the past. Already, local militias and even caravans in the region are sending out patrols to search for the last of the stormmongers and bring an end to their reign of terror in the region. Because it's like one thing, like with Caesar's Legion putting people on crosses, to being put on a kite. Like you're so far up in the air that if you do ever come down, you're dying. You're just gonna hit the ground and die. Like it'd be really hard to survive that. Where if you're put on a cross by Caesar's Legion, you're at least like, hey, if I get cut down from this cross or this cross falls over, there's a higher chance of me not dying. There's a higher chance of me getting cut down from this cross. In the meantime, we've turned our attention to rebuilding Helena and officially reinstate it as the capital of Montana. The city's infrastructure was restored, trade routes were secured, and the iconic Montana state capital is being slowly rebuilt as a symbol of a return to stability in the region. Thanks to the MacArthur detachment's own operations, we've managed to establish a stronger than normal presence in the region, ensuring the safety of the local population and fostering economic growth. Kiting? That's a new one. Yeah. Bringing back Bismarck. So, of all the former state capitals we've encountered so far, none have been in a good as state as Bismarck. Not only did the city avoid the worst of the bombs, but the remnants of the state government managed to survive in the harsh winters of the north and established itself as a vital trading hub. Sorry, I had a cough. And power in the region, surviving all the way until our arrival practically. Of course, that isn't to say the city exerts control over all of North Dakota, and the once vaunted North Dakota National Guard degraded into the militia wearing their equipment by now. That isn't to say, however, Bismarck lost its status as a powerhouse in the region. It just had to adapt to the times. Key to this was its location on the Missouri River and the power of the River League, of which Bismarck was a part, as well as the fact the town was home to a pre-war band of German refugees that created the first working Gauss rifle on American soil. Oh, that's cool. This not only allowed a steady income and fueled the city's economy, trade, and river caravans that could afford guards from Bismarck knew well that they had the best money they could buy in the region. So it only makes sense that we restore the city's title of capital of North Dakota once more and use the influence on the river and the caravan trade to reassert control over the region once more. Bit too cold there for my taste. Restoring Prairie, or Pierre. Restoring Pierre. Pierre is a bit of an oddity in the Wasteland. They are ever fearful of a Canadian invasion, proud of their Crow heritage, and have been doing battle with the Dam Busters and other threats have come out of the Plague Lands. For the past few decades, upon our arrival, the city was still in relatively good shape and was benefiting from increased trade both in caravans and along the river. Not that they didn't attempt to put up a fight, it was that they were focused on a different fight altogether. While nominally, the threat has always been the Dam Busters, who were wary of the power they held over their precious dam. Recently, however, expeditions into the subway tunnels underneath the city have caused the Crows to mobilize, and now it's become our problem. When our troops arrive, the city militia was trained how to fight in close quarters combat and in techniques we recognize when fighting against feral ghouls. Thankfully, power armor is a wonder in itself, and while some resisted, they were more fearful of something else. We've managed to exert control over both the dam and the city itself. However, everything is pointing to a terror underground, and a small patrol past their forward positions revealed a network of tunnels that could run for miles. Send the Slantier, boys. Enclave intelligence has looked through it and determined that they're likely linked up to the Nebraska quarantine zones, which, yes, stretched into South Dakota. Callahan has pointed out that if we're ever to return to the area to normal, we're going to need to clear out the network underneath Nebraska and Nevada sooner rather than later. We'll get to it. One more bomb. Chappa Wagner stood before the smoldering, still radioactive remains of Tonksilla? Scape Pa? Or six grandfathers. Enclave vertebrates from the EPA flew over the area, dumping chemicals on the top in hopes of containing radioactive decay from. Gannon stood beside her, seeing the destruction of Mount Rushmore, remembering the fire and rage that had been kicked off in the Western White House when they had been informed that of the. So I was told that this was Sue, like Sue, instead of like Suex. Sue's action, as he said to Granite and the rest that day. I think he said Sue. I think so. I think that's how he said it. He turned to ask Wagner. So, do we continue the cycle? He asked. The mountain is gone, yet we are still here and are going to keep killing each other. Do not patronize me on killing, spat Wagner. Then you are doomed as the Enclave was, to keep destroying, to keep killing, to keep trying to avenge something that we ourselves had no part in. Nuclear Armageddon couldn't destroy our people. How many more bombs do we need to go off before we stop the destruction? Because that's where it gets us. He pointed to the smoldering radioactive remains before them. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't want it. I'm asking to end the cycle of destruction, because all it is ever going to lead to is one more bomb, because where is it going to land next? Shappa let out a frustrating sigh. Tonskilish, I'm trying to say that, was never coming back, but maybe, just maybe. There were better ways to shape the future. War never changes, but people can. I just say arrest the people who blew it up. That Dakota Dam. I can't tell if this is it supposed to be Ohio? Or Ohe? It's like O-A-H-E. Dam might not be as grand as the Hoover Dam, or as technologically as marvelous as the Hephaestus project, but only a fool would see this old dam as anything but just a vital, if not more so. I guess it's supposed to be spelled that way. I'm going to say Ohe. Ohe is of imperative strategic importance due to its location. The lands surrounding Ohe are as barren as they come in the Wasteland as our reach expands further eastward. The water and electricity captured here will be indispensable. Since wresting control of the dam from its previous owners, we've managed to repair much of the damage thanks to the part to our expertise at Lake Mead. Whole swaths of the Midwest can now be powered, vastly extending our range quite the feat, giving our entire operation started from humble beginnings in Gecko's nuclear power plant. Power for the future. Dude, Jesus. We get 500 power in Fort Perry. That is nuts. That's a lot of power. Like, if you take that early, like if you're a faction that's closer to that, dude, that'll make you money. Oh my god. Like, that is absolutely crazy. Okay, I was like, I thought I needed to probably upgrade this to... Oh, nope, go back down, because I want you to go down this way like this. And then we'll just kind of link it to this one here, and then we'll link this one up here. Well, this would help us build infrastructure for the future also, funny enough. Like, future of the country. Okay, let's look back down at Florida down here. Okay, if we could take this straight, we cut off all of this from supply here. Okay, we got the labor movement going on. Okay, we got it. Now we just need to hold this. We overran that group and they started attacking us to take this back. Okay, they have no port. They have no connecting tile here. Without this, but I don't think they can get supply from that. So yeah, I think they're just gonna attrition like crazy now. Take out that cannon. Get rid of that cannon from this area. Engulf this a little bit more. Oh yeah, dude, they're all getting pushed back. Oh, flashpoint. Okay, this is more of the China stuff. Our captain has reported she's circled the waters for several days. as has the Chinese fleet. Robco Translate is acting a bit buggy, but for the most part can translate what we need. The language barrier hasn't eased tensions any, with many within our expedition getting anxious of a sneak attack. Observers report of crewmen running around on their decks, possibly preparing weapons. Our captain is requesting on what exactly we want to convey to the Chinese fleet. Broadcast peaceful intentions now. So peace can change. They are trespassing in American waters. The resurgent Red Menace. Dude, I kind of want to bring back just the Red Menace. But, oh man. I wish the European continent was here because I would so go to war against them also now. I would so go to war against them, but let's do peaceful intentions. Peace can change. As the Shi continued to converse with the Chinese ship, they agreed to come alongside for the first time in 200 years. The descendants of the Shi Huang Tai look upon their fellows who are equally perplexed to see Chinese members alongside the American crew. Alongside the American crew. I lost where I was for a second. After several emotional moments from the Shi, the commander of the Chinese ships approached our captain with the Shi translating. We were able to transcribe it onto holotape. Greetings from the Democratic People's Empire of China. They've become democratic. Let's go. They found the way. We are pleased to see that you have also survived the Great Mistake. They also call it the Great Mistake. Yes, I love it. I love to see it. After a few awkward gestures of bows and handshakes, as well as discovering both them and ourselves were about to open fire, the delegations talked long enough through the night. They spoke of China's own vault program, the remnants of the Red Army, and even Mongolian traders. Could you imagine, like, we get our version of Fallout, and then the actual Chinese in our world get the Chinese version of Fallout? That would be hilarious. That would be great. But we're far more interested in the Shi, whom they couldn't believe survived the Great Mistake. By daybreak, dude, there's probably a lot of still communist groups of like ghouls and stuff in the United States who, if found out about this, would freak that China isn't communist anymore, that they're democratic, and they're calling what happened the Great Mistake. There'd be so many of them that their heads would probably just explode. By daybreak, spirits remained high when a messenger from the Imperial House offered a treaty of peace and commerce on behalf of the People's Democratic Empire and for a desire of the Emperor to meet the president. Apparently, there's quite the market for Nuka-Cola in China nowadays. Wait till you try a sunset sarsaparilla. They can't be trusted. Prepare for war. What happens if we go to war against... Let me do this. I should probably name that. What is that? 11051? The Resurgent Red Menace. The Chinese presence in the ruins of Pearl Harbor could only be an attempt to seize pre-war technology for their own benefit, and with the order given, sailors and marshals took their positions. The battle was brief but fierce, and it seemed the dirty Chinese were ready to do the same to us. In the end, American perseverance and power armor won the day. Though the Kingdom of Hawaii has ordered our ships out of their harbor, the Navy and Marines are currently drawing up plans to retake our rogue island state. Meanwhile, on our shores, the army is readying for battle once again. Citizens of Vault City made plans to go back underground, and Secret Service constructed a new camp, Turtle Dove, and the president called for a bigger second expedition. The dawn of 24th century is upon us. The war is just beginning, and the war never changes. Zhao leads a revolution. Huh. So is that like a whole nother just like playthrough that can happen? I know it's not like actually fighting them, but is it like all just decisions? Oh, crash loading that. Right back. Okay, we're back. We already read this, right? Yeah. So wait till you try Sunset Sarsaparilla, where eagles fly. After several successful weeks of work, we've not only recreated the bald eagle, we've made it even better. We made it the largest bird of prey of the pre-war era, gave it the ability to live anywhere across the United States, and set its prey to be species such as cazadors and stingwings. Thank God. I hate cazadors were the bane of my existence in New Vegas. Like, I hated them with a passion because of that poison, man. It would kill you so fast. I hated them. We've also set them to not see humans as prey, since they can easily pick up a small child. But that's beside the point. Today, several hundred were released in the first of many waves set to repopulate America's birds across the continent. Journalists and reporters were in awe as they soared into the skies, symbolizing the very spirit of the reunited states itself. I'm not crying, just dust in my eye. God, dude. I love how none of my artillery pieces are actually moving to where they need to go. Oh, wait, no, they just unattached themselves. Is that what happened? Oh, is it because there was no trains, like railway there? No, because all of these guys still have, like, their artillery attached to them. I'm so confused as to why these all detached. Yeah, okay, they're heading back out now. Okay, yeah, that's super weird. And we have all of this captured. Let's go. Dude, look at this. Oh, my God. Such a big surround, man. That is crazy. Let's see. How many has St. Petersburg lost so far? 14K. I gotta remember that the losses aren't the same as base game losses in this. Go across the strait here, because they don't have anybody holding the strait right now. So if we can make it across the strait and kind of open up a front here, that'd be great. Because once we finish this, I need to move some of these guys over. Oh, yeah, we just overran all of that.
Who the hell is this?
What unit are you guys, actually, that's here? Okay, that's you guys. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to set
Enclave
all of you guys. Oh, it doesn't do it that way. Crap. I hate that it does this.
This is Enclave main com.
Because then I have to, like, click them individually since they're not under the same generals.
Enclave here. Everything's always tighter out here at Enclave. Why isn't your
Because I want you guys to all pop up here
Why isn't your video feed working?
on this end and push this line deeper.
This is Enclave main com.
Okay, there you go. And that is you, so I want you to actually turn around and push this way now. With that line. Perfect. Nice. He's pretty much run out of org. Yep, he just got pushed out. Get in there quickly. Okay, we got back in. Woohoo! That was kind of close. So we're pushing them out of here. The only issue is we don't have a straight here now. But if I could just do something like this and hold the line, that'd be great.
Enclave here.
Because I need you guys to kind of just push through this section. Yeah, that way this doesn't happen and we don't get these guys surrounded. I'll just keep moving. I'll keep moving some of these guys out until these guys can get behind them and take them out. Just like that. Perfect. Don't take that yet, because I want to kind of just surround them here. Fund the EPA, the new EPA. For the longest time, Coleus, and the EPA had been shoved to the side as tree huggers for more military focused operation. It did not help that Coleus, former rank before becoming director, was a lieutenant in the army, but that was behind him since the return of to California. The Enclave had inherited the environmental problems in California as well. Poor soil, irradiated water, mutant invasive species, all of which the Experimental Protection Agency was designed to combat and prevent. Thus, when Coleus put forward his proposal, Granite accepted it, if only because he seemed to be the only one who knew what to do at that exact moment in time. In fact, a few of the officers in the room were perplexed. The Coleus even got his approval regardless, Coleus set forth ready to restore the EPA. We'll call him Coy. Coy set forth ready to restore the EPA to its pre-war potential, and the first place he had his sights on were the old EPA offices in Northern California. Good luck. So this unlocks decisions that we can make for the EPA. And now let's take the GEC project. And then let's see what options we have for there. Let's throw some money into those, though. Let's repair the next turbine. I need to go see how many turbines I have repaired on that, because I want to know what happens if we fully repair that also. The vanity of the waste. Oh my god, these are a lot of stuff here. Dude, we spent so much money. EPA offices expedition. Oh, okay, I didn't realize this. We can secure Pantex at any cost. What does that mean? At any cost, though. Can I only do one of these at a time? No, okay, I can do all of these. So it looks like we can get the nuclear missile silos. Prepare another Delta X flight. Let's arm some more mini nukes. Because I want to come down here and then our infantry. Let's use a fat man. Use a fat man on all of you. Let's push through what they have left there. Oh, yeah, another thing is with this. The intermediate infantry tech, for some reason, we just can't get it. I don't know why. One of you guys said that there might have been an issue with the mod or something. Because we got sophisticated, but we didn't get intermediate. And the only reason why we got these was through previous tech that the game gave us without giving us the intermediate stuff in general. So that's why we didn't really go laser rifles. It's another reason why we can't go the mass driver and use Gauss weapons, because this one we have the sophisticated infantry tech for, but we need this one first, which for this one we need intermediate infantry tech, which we just can't get. Then there's plasma rifles, which we need intermediate tech for, but we don't have the plasma stuff anyway right now for weapon schematics anyway. But yeah, so that's why we can't do that. Same thing with like the Enclave advanced kit and stuff. But we can at least get the maxed rifle. So ballistics wise, I guess we're still good technically. Just want to see what other research that we can really kind of get, because we've done most things here. Okay, let's grab this just to have that done. Perfect. Yeah, a lot of their templates are just straight infantry and nothing else. Colonel Houston, I presume. We just got word. We just got word from from units near El Paso. Colonel Sam Houston. I can't remember V. I think V's 5, right? Or is V 4? No, I think IV's 4. I think V's 5. Yeah. And his forces. I'm always confused when it comes to Roman numerals. Have been found. They've been hiding in a derelict vault for years, slowly rebuilding their numbers. They were quite surprised to see Enclave troops walking around, even more searching for them. The colonel claims he was about to start operations to begin his own campaign similar to ours, just that the starting conditions weren't right. We also found evidence that they might have taken up raiding against some of the local towns, but the evidence is anecdotal at best, having himself been forced to take in Wasteland Americans to bolster his own troops' numbers. He is on board with our reformist ways and is eager to return to active service reuniting America. Among his forces who have joined us is Colonel Callahan's brother, and the two have shared a happy reunion. All right, enough with the Texclave. So we get 3 unit leaders. Oh, we got some units too. Callahan's Cowboys. Okay, I'm going to change you guys out, though, for my own power armor units. So they keep the names, which is great. I like the Texas Reds and stuff, but they have a crazy template now for their power armor units. Okay, who do I add you guys to? Who has room to even house you guys? You know, let's add you to the Brotherhood of Steel lines, because these guys don't really have that great of units, and I can't change them. I can't change their templates. Question, though, too, is what is their subject status under? 33. We need 33 more, and then we can just fully annex the American Brotherhood. That's hilarious. Oh, our Lend-Lease ran out. Okay, so if we Lend-Lease them, we should be able to, yeah, get some more from them there. Okay, let's do like 1,000 support equipment. So we're gonna get this back anyway. So that's minus 50. I can't remember. Was it minus 33? I think it was minus 33, right? Let's see. We'll send that to him. Because I honestly can't remember now. Yeah, okay. So that should get us enough once they get that. Okay, and now we can get nuclear jet fighters and stuff. Oh, Jesus. I want to get these because I actually want to, like, do a paratrop and marine force landings on these islands, which means I need paratrooper infantry, which we do have a special Gamma Corps paratroopers of airborne mutants. Which for some reason we can't add more of these mutants to them. Huh. So we have the template for these airborne mutants. We just don't have, we can't add more of them. Or maybe it's like this. Let me see. Because for some reason, like under here, I can't, like it doesn't show me them. And I think adding it here also doesn't show me them, right? No, it doesn't. Or wait, was I? No, that's just normal infantry. Okay, yeah. We don't actually see them there. So artillery battery can be dropped. Actually, let me do this. Because if I leave them like this and train them up like this, they should be much faster to train. Want a good amount of you guys. And then we're probably going to paradrop you from... Should I do it from the chicken itza? It's funny because when you guys said it looked like chicken pizza, and it kind of made me laugh. I know it's like chichen itza, but I like calling it chicken. Now the itza, somebody saying pizza, I now want to call it chicken pizza now too. I could put them over here and then paradrop around these islands actually, because by the time these guys come out anyway, we should have Florida by then. So let's actually do that. I'll have them pop up in downtown. And then our Marines, I could pop them out early. The Marines are going to pop out down here because I want to land in Cuba as like first. I might do landings like around, but Cuba's going to be the big drop because it has a lot of areas. So we'll drop them on the port there. And then once the new research gets done for that stuff, I need those because I'm going to do that fighter too, because those nuclear fighters will definitely get us air over them. Oh, hey, we finally finished this. The shoulder-mounted machine gun. That town expanded. Now, what? Does that go into fire team production? Oh, wait. Oh, we got the red glare rocket launcher also. Nice. Okay, so we're about to produce some good stuff here. Yeah, we're already producing, like, Tesla cannons and stuff also. Okay, and yeah, we're just pushing Florida now. Expedition EPA. Director Koyas has come forward, having gathered enough men and equipment to venture to the EPA regional offices north of Sac City. There was also the matter that so many maps, the offices weren't listed. In fact, most of the references to the offices were listed as the zoo in NCR records and caravan maps. Since he was looking for offices and not a zoo, it was quite the surprise when he found an old pre-war map with the EPA offices crossed out and relabeled the zoo. Regardless, it was probably nothing as he has his and his convoy set out. Oh, that is not... If it's called the zoo, it's called the zoo for a reason. There's probably a lot of mutated animals there. For the offices, even a flyover of vertebrates depicted nothing out of the ordinary in his requisition. He then found out why it was called the zoo. Arriving in the offices, he passed an abandoned NCR army blockade that surrounded the site. Oh, yeah. Arriving at the parking lot, the place was a literal jungle, complete with spore plants and half-eaten remains of NCR troopers and rangers that had been trapped by the carnivorous vegetation. Demo teams armed with flamethrowers were put to work clearing the site, but if this was outside the building, what the hell was inside? Coy has set up shop in the parking lot and is requesting additional reinforcements. An environment protecting itself? Interesting. I like that. That's funny. Okay, let's do some construction speed here. Crap. What else is there? Because I'm wondering if that opened up more of the EPA stuff now. Okay, we have like no PP now. We've used up a lot of PP. Okay, so so we're still waiting on it to be restored. Okay, I see. Iki. Let's build up another major settlement. As we just kind of like push through Florida here. A meeting of giants. Okay, so we're meeting the Chinese Democratic Nation now. The Navy expanded nothing, escorting the president to Hawaii, where the meeting was agreed to take place. With the largest and most decorated ships of the fleet, the president rode in ease and comfort aboard, further guarded by Secret Service, Marines, and Army Rangers. Upon arrival on Marine One, Douglas Granite's vertibird was met with fanfare by King... Does that say Kamehameha? I swear to God. King Kamehameha. I don't know the Roman numeral for XXI. Jesus. Let me look that up real quick. XXI. 21. Okay. Kamehameha 21. Jesus. Oh, X's are 10s, right? Yeah, so 10, 10, 1. I totally forgot X's. Yeah, X's are 10. So it's like 10 plus 10 plus 1. So yeah. Who likewise was honored to meet the President of the United States. Within hours of arriving, the Chinese fleet was sighted. While most of the ships were not as impressive as their American counterparts. Yeah, dude, we got these Enclave destroyers and stuff now. Save for one, this the centerpiece ship, a massive aircraft carrier, King Kamehameha 21, noted to the president that was the emperor's personal ship, indicating the emperor had been to Hawaii before as it docked in Pearl Harbor. Americans lined up to meet the Chinese, who disembarked, drums beating as a procession led up to a single floating platform that held what could only be assumed was the Chinese emperor. As the floating chair came down, it halted before the president and Hawaiian king stepping off. Douglas Granite was amazed to see a ghoul standing several inches shorter in heavy, accented English. The ghoul spoke. Greetings, I am Emperor Huangdi of the Democratic People's Empire of China. On behalf of the reunited states of America, it's an honor. Fate of the Dragon. Fate of the Dragon. Oh, dude, that looks... Oh, man, I just wish. Fate of the Dragon. Aside, customary greetings and various photo ops for both the American and Chinese press, the two sat down for a luau hosted by King Kamehameha. Douglas Granite and Huangdi spent much of their time speaking to the history of their two countries. While Douglas Granite was sure to avoid some of the darker secrets, Huangdi seemed enthralled by the story of how America reunited under the stars and stripes and seemed intrigued about the concept of super mutants. Conversely, oh, did they not have super mutants and stuff over there? I thought maybe it would have like say like a cloud of radiation pushing the FEV virus over to China. Conversely, the People's Republic never recovered. Their own vault programs were meant to provide for the war effort rather than allow for survival of nuclear holocaust. Oh, I see. So their vaults weren't for surviving nuclear holocaust, it was for the war effort. However, the CCP Master Vault was destroyed by marauding U.S. military remnants. Oh, so this is what I was talking about before. If the U.S., if there could be a game where, like, because I think the U.S. took Shanghai and stuff, right? Like in the Fallout world. So say like the U.S., like if you play as a U.S. remnant when the nuclear war started, like say the game starts and you're fighting in a battlefield, like you're on a battlefront fighting, right? and then you're fighting for your life. Your buddies like take bullets around you, stuff. Kind of like the old Call of Duty ones that they used to see in like old Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 days. And then all of a sudden in the distance, you see like nuclear missiles going, like getting fired off into the sky. And you're just sitting there like, oh my, like everyone just stops, like both sides stop fighting and you both just look up. And then in the distance, as you're fighting in China, a nuke goes off. And then from there, that's where the game starts. That would be the coolest, I would say, start to a Fallout game. And then like, the nukes go off, you get hit by the blast, and then you wake up in a medical tent. And then it's like, I can't remember who, like the basic Fallout stuff of like, who are you sort of thing. It's like, wait, you're, I don't know, like say either you're getting picked up by, some Chinese like civilian who helped you, or you're like in a medical tent or something like that getting helped. And then it's like, who are you? And then you got to like choose your strengths. Maybe the strengths that you choose also are like military based stuff. So like you work communications. So like your communications perk will help with hacking. And then, you get more intelligence and stuff from your communications perk. You were a grunt. So like just say you were like a Marine that helped take Shanghai. So you get better skill in like long rifles and like handguns or firearms, stuff like that, or like strength. That would be baller, dude. Oh my god. However, the CCP Master Vault was destroyed by marauding US military remnants. Thus, the vaults were left to themselves, and for the 150 years were separate kingdoms under their own rule. Dude, I could talk about this for like hours, honestly. It wasn't until 2243 that an effort by the greatest vaults attempted to reunite China to restore it to its former glory. Marrying new and old, the Democratic People's Empire of China was born from the ashes of the old world as something more. Suffice to say, when his trade ships were reported seeing vessels flying the stars and stripes, he was quite worried about opening old wounds that could see the world destroyed again. Upon receiving peaceful overtures, however, he is glad America has come into the new world a better country and not a land of genocidal maniacs stuck in the past, locked into their views of the old world. Yeah, I kind of got rid of those people. America has learned from the war. So help me if anyone mentions the Enclave. Gets event, end of the war. The end of the war. As stories and meals come to an end, the main event comes upon everyone. While the Great War was an epoch event that saw the deaths of billions, the destruction of cultures, and the unmitigated eradication of nearly every species, the end seems so trivial. Simple paper with simple text stating that the United States and China cease hostilities. Wishing to begin a new era of peace, the events were too far in the past to assign blame, and what does it even matter? As the Emperor prepares his own pen, Douglas Granite looks down at the paper and reflects on the events that had happened and the events to come. The Great War, the Great Mistake, is over. So, of course, it still needs to be ratified by Congress, gets event to the end of the Great War. God bless America and no one else. President Douglas Granite shoots the Chinese emperor. Gets event or not. Did you really? Bro, oh my god. Oh my god. I gotta see what happens. I gotta see what happens. I have to see what happens here. God bless America and no one else. Or not. Did you really? Before a stunned crowd, the Chinese emperor fell over, bleeding from the charred hole in his chest from where the president shot him with his laser pistol. The only sound heard was the dying groans of the emperor before shouts of anger and rage from the Chinese delegation erupted. Secret Service were quick to surround the president as Marines and Army Rangers began shooting everyone in sight that wasn't American. Out in the harbor, the Navy got word of the developing firefight and unloaded everything onto the Chinese fleet. a running gun battle between American, Chinese, and Hawaiian forces took place, seeing President Douglas Grant don power armor for the first time since arriving at Sierra Army Depot. By nightfall, the city was in flame thanks to the American retaliatory strikes. The American fleet steaming away at speed to return the president to the American mainland. While many are shocked by the events that unfolded, few dare question the president. Did you really think I trusted China? Storm clouds on the horizon. Oh my god, dude. Oh, that is great. Okay, there might be another episode after this where we just go through the entire events of the war with China. Honestly, that might be what comes after this, because I want to do this as a full like reformer, but that was just too good to not shoot the emperor, honestly. Oh my god, I loved that. That was hilarious. Oh, I might start it too from the shooting of the emperor, because I like the idea of taking out their emperor and their fleet, because there are only aircraft carriers there, and then seeing what happens after. Dude, that is great. Oh my god, I love that. Oh man, the Great War, the great mistake is over. Oh, dude, that had me geeking. The end of the Great War. The stroke of a pen, the Chinese emperor and the American president ended a century of conflict and the 200 years of destruction it wrought. Cheers went up among the Americans, Chinese, and Hawaiian members of the crowd, though to some, the moment seemed bittersweet. While hostilities are over, it seems almost pointless in the modern day. From the Mongol raider plagued wastes of the Gobi or the super mutant cannibal forests of Oregon, the idea of peace seems superfluous? Support. God, I can't say that word. I know what the word means, though, is the issue. The Great War lasted just 2 hours, obliterated the Earth, and neither China or the USA had been at war with each other since. Yet, even as the president and emperor shake hands for the camera, one can't but feel hope. Hope for a return to civilization, a return to stability, and that the two greatest powers of the old world could, just maybe, make something anew. We won't know unless we try. Add peace in our time, which grants stability. We lose war penalty stability modifier and offensive war penalty stability modifier. Gets two events. Main Street USA in China, the result of the Great War. So Main Street USA in China. So as the festivities continued, the question again came up about the American forces in China. After some talks, it became clear that most of the armed forces devolved into raiders and died off over the years or perished in a desperate attempt to return home. All others integrated with the Chinese or their Chinese counterparts over the centuries. However, the center of all American activity in China, Shanghai, maintained a sizable American presence and culture, not too unlike San Francisco. Over the years, the descendants built mirror image of the United States, representing its pre-war ideals, all the while melding with the Chinese culture. Already, many Americans are eager to visit the city, and many from the Chinese delegation are just as eager to see San Francisco. Interesting. That's cool. I like that. But man, that's hilarious. Oh, dude, that's great. Okay, game. Can you not? Thank you. Oh. The end of World War III. It played a little tune, but I don't know if that tune was copywritten, so I was like, oh, I trust it. When the war is over, we'll get married, and the earth will grow flowers like you, and your womb will carry the most beautiful girl in the universe. Unknown Soldier, 1939. So many lives lost.
The fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
Yeah, stop them from pushing there. Perfect. We know why it was called the zoo. Oh, to say director Polius was disturbed was an understatement. Venturing further into the EPA campus, our troops pushed into the garage only to find a series of robots attending to what they claimed was a petting zoo. A petting zoo filled with people whatever programming in those robots failed to recognize that power armored troops were also humans, because when a medic was called up, they tried to put her back in the exhibit. After promptly scrapping the robots, those on display were tended to, having been kept alive and docile by a strange nutrient paste of pre-war origin. While it kept them alive, they were apparently hungry and attacked the medical staff attempting to help them by trying to eat the medical staff. The very hungry humans were subdued by our power armored troops, and the rest locked back up. A humanitarian crisis has been declared, and medical and psychological staff are on their way, along with food to help these people. It's a wonder they didn't eat themselves, and we're a bit short on knowledge on how to rehabilitate cannibals. Usually we just shoot them. Has doubled down on his request for reinforcements. The army granted the request. Petting zoos are supposed to be fun. Oh my god, I love how we didn't take these from them. They're just still just hanging out. They're artillery pieces. Move here to surround that, because that's actually a road going across this. Oh, yeah, we're overrunning those guys there. What's been going on with our Navy a little bit, actually, because we have been surrounding Cuba. I think we destroyed most of their fleets as a whole, so now we're just kind of taking out little bits of convoys. We have 70% naval. Oh, no, Cuba still has some ships. They still have 10 heavy ships. They have, this is 70%, so it could be around these numbers. So they have a heavy battle barge, 2 heavy Tremaine Mark IIs, 1 combat ship, 2 heavy paddle steamers, and a heavy brig. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do anything to us. They do have 2 light patrol boat hulls, so they do have 2, like, more updated light ships, but that's only 2 compared to, like, what we have. Which is better than that, than what they have for sure. Okay, so that's in the middle there, so we can take their stuff now. They don't have a navy, so we can't incorporate their navy into ours. Okay, so that kind of gives us a front line here now better. We now own that. I need to combine more of these lines, though, for sure. And then let's get like a backup hub up here. And then we'll put a naval base, actually, like right there, too. And then all these are connected. Yep, perfect. Okay. So we're finally out of the what's considered the more overgrowth. Okay, so we did take out all of this. That's why we have more guys coming to the Florida front. These guys are clearing out this. There's no straits here, so they do have to go up and over through the Chicago. So dang. So normally, so when the rest of the mods actually get fully updated and are working, the only way to get from the East Coast to the West Coast without naval invading the other side is going through the Chicago Enclave. Or technically going through Canada, but even that is like very little area. So you'd have to go through the Chicago Enclave, which in of themselves might have actually taken a lot of area around them. Dude, I cannot wait to be able to play the Chicago Enclave. Venus Mantrap. Director Hoi has been directing the new company of soldiers under his command in clearing out the rest of the surface of the EPA. One of the interesting things he's discovered are Venus Mantraps. I love how they're not called Venus flytraps, they're called man-traps. Strange carnivorous plants that have been discovered to be the death of more than 1 scavenger and plenty of NCR troops. Thankfully, power armor and flamers are enough to remove them. That isn't to say this is still the most bizarrely horrifying place we've come across. Out behind the office was a park, and by park, we mean it was a park that was filled with the remains of NCR Rangers that our soldiers promptly torched. There is also a greenhouse, was a greenhouse, but that was ordered leveled via airstrike. Whatever was inside is now a crater. Hoi wanted to move into the offices, but was delayed by an infestation of mantises and rad scorpions in the ventilation shafts, who nearly ate 3 members of the EPA who walked inside to hide from the airstrike. Thinking on his feet, Director Hoi called in the Slantier to clean out the ducts. Let's go. who were more than happy to hunt through the ventilation shafts and are currently enjoying a buffet of roasted rad scorpion and sauteed mantis. Even if Koi was a bit weirded out by sentient raccoons, you can always count on the Slantier, which reminds me, once these Marines come out, I need to change them. I need to add, okay, I need to change out like 2 of these so that I can have Slantier Cavalry Troop. I don't want to change them now because then it'll add stuff to it, and then I would need more training for them. So I want to do it after they come out. I have to remember that. Anything... Wait, was that... Okay, no, this is new. Something weird, Oregon way. During operations to pacify Oregon, our troops reported back a strange area in eastern Oregon. The super mutants and even the Brotherhood of Steel avoided. It was marked off on the map, and after several perimeter sweeps, we detected no enemy movements, and with bigger threats to handle, moved on. Now that we have control of the region, our forces returned to the strange lands and began asking local settlements about it. Accordingly, it was once home to the odious king and his crimson acolytes, whatever the hell that means. Though the term odious does not bode well, pre-war records indicate that it was once the home of a future tech research facility, given it was a division of Vault Tech. Well, I won't have to remind you, nearly every vault ever. The army is preparing a small incursion into the lands and will keep you informed. Anything that ends in tech is bad news. Okay, so I don't think we've reformed the EPA, but I want to check real quick just in case. I don't want it sitting there. I want to keep the EPA going, so that way we can see what's going on with the EPA. Okay, so it hasn't been fully restored yet. Further develop Fort Blanding. Prepare Task Force in Norfolk. So we would need a carrier in Norfolk, 3 capital ships, 9 screening ships. What does this do? Prepare Task Force Norfolk. The Navy has put forth a list of ships required to secure U.S. dominance of the waves on the eastern seaboard. Oh, okay. Well, I have aircraft carriers making right now, which they have not been finished. So we have a bunch of assault carriers. Oh, wait. No, these are assault craft. These are cruisers, yeah. I forget that the images don't fully line up with what they are, for these guys at least. So let's add these guys over to our main navy over here. Okay, so they're merging with them. Oh, no, we do have an aircraft carrier. Okay, sweet. Okay, so we have an aircraft carrier finished. Oh. Okay. Okay, so let's do this then. I should have enough for more command power. Oh, I forgot Greyhound was out here on his own. I totally forgot about that. Let's start a new fleet then. Let's get a new commander. Chance to receive critical hit. Chance to score critical hit. I don't really like this guy, but we don't have enough command points. His coordination is actually pretty nice, though, too. Oh, Greyhound actually got damaged. It's currently repairing. That's why it's in here, in the reserve fleet. Dude, I did not. I totally forgot how big the kudzu was, just because of how we've moved through it. That kudzu was massive. Ooh, okay. So what area was that we just took? Okay, so is this area up here? There's no straight over here, so we have to actually move across this. Oh, wait, we're not at war against this island? We're gonna have to change that. Who is in command over here?
Yeah, that's a no one.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you guys to push into these areas here. Wait, are we going to have to naval invade this area? Because there's no actual way to get there. It looks like we are going to have to. Okay. Looks like our Marine's going to have some work cut out for him. I'm going to send you guys that way. But it does look like we are coming across actual factions now, though, too. Because there's actually airplanes here and stuff. There's people at this port. Okay, so we are coming across actual factions. And the same thing with these guys once they get through. Let me do some more road construction over here, because I already know, yeah, these guys... equipment and stuff, or their supply is definitely not looking good. Oh my god, that's not even connected over there either. Yes, it has to come through this road over here. Okay, then let's build a hub here. We're definitely gonna need a hub here, 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 and here, so that once we expand up, it's not gonna be that bad for us. Let's send this way, because we do have some hubs over here too. And then, yeah, these guys are going to need supply. And let's do some naval bases around here to also help with this supply. And the same thing with you guys. Let's do a naval base here. Oh, they actually already have one here getting built. I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Okay. The Pale Lands of the Odious King. To say the army's expedition ventured as far into the perimeter as we got through reading their reports. In fact, our officers couldn't even finish it and had to have a Mr. Gutsy write the rest. The area is a nightmarish landscape with trees that have bark resembling human skin. The grass in the area is reported to have contorted, hollow faces. Additionally, flowers in this area seem to have petals made of teeth. The whole environment is straight out of a terrifying fairy tale. Our troops refused to move any further, and we had a full-on mutiny on our hands. And not just the enlisted, every officer has refused to enter the area, and when threatened with court-martial, happily agreed. One enterprising old-fashioned commander tried death threats and was only stopped by the fact that every other laser rifle was powered on in his direction. Eventually, a vertebrate flyover reported the fleshlands goes on for miles, but all seems to be emanating from the aforementioned future tech labs. Of course it is. I'm going to puke. Trash can is behind you for convenience. Gets event. The flesh that hates. Oh my god, that's an event name and a half. The flesh that hates. Well, not entirely. A sample of the skin, grass, and flesh trees were recovered, and it's the most bizarre thing we've come across to date. Fundamentally, everything recovered are plants, just with human attributes. Yes, human. The DNA sequencing contains known human genomes, and the teeth petals are identified to the teeth you'd find on anybody. However, the cellular structure is not animal cells, rather they're plant cells. They have cell walls and contain chloroplast found in plants, not animals. However, they're structured like red blood cells. It's as if someone took plants but used humans to make them. Even our best scientists are stumped, and yes, we called in biologists too. We've also checked records, and there is no mention of a vault with any kind of experiment of this nature, which makes sense given there is no scientific data to be gleaned from any of this, and at best is the work of some post-war madman. However, all this won't solve the problem of having a literal flesh forest in Eastern Oregon. What if it starts growing? Get me coil. Get me koi. Decision now available in the EPA decision matrix. Oh, so that's what that one dude said. There's a lot that goes on with the EPA because it expands upon other story stuff. That's awesome. I actually like that a lot. I'm glad he said that, because that was one of the reasons why I did it. Ah, we need the EPA offices restored. Come on, EPA offices, get restored. Man. I need you now. So sublevel red. One of the big questions on Director Koi's mind is, if the surface was so bad, how horrifying is the interior? He got his answer when he arrived at sublevel red. The entire place was laid out like a public atrium, complete with reception, information, and a museum. They were even led around by a pre-war hologram named Hologram 40011. However, that was where the normacy ended. 40011 showed them a public execution chamber, an ammo depot, and since Koi is the director of the EPA, she instructed him to the board of directors for the EPA, all whom are a series of advanced pre-war holograms, courtesy of Big Mountain, it seems. First to be met was hologram 10031, director of ground maintenance, who, upon recognizing Koi as a member of the government, promptly dressed Koi down for the destruction on the surface, stating that since his department of ground maintenance has operated at 100% inefficiency for over 200 years, Koi has set the EPA back several thousand years of work and effort. After recovering from the assault from the verbal assault of the hologram, Koi introduced himself as the director of the EPA and was promptly apologized to by the hologram director. Koi was then introduced to the other directors. These included the director of science, hologram 0000, who only spoke in binary, the director of security, hologram 10001, who demanded that Koi destroy everything in the EPA, and launched into a tirade when he was told that was never going to happen. Lastly was hologram 12001, director of operations, who Koi got so fed up with that he fired 12001 on the spot because he couldn't get a straight answer out of him. Unfortunately, 12001 is hardwired into the facility, so in order to fire him, he'd have to be destroyed outright. Thankfully, one of our robotics core members managed to repair hologram 0000, and the hologram has given Director Koi full access to the facility. Director Koi has put in a requisition for a cask of old royal whiskey to be flown out after reading that report. The request has been granted. Good God, send him an entire case. My man needs a drink after that, for sure. Oh my God. Okay, we're still moving into St. Petersburg. Push is going great. They're actually doing Last Stand. The Gek Project. Although there were about 8 million horses in pre-war America, they all died out due to the Great War, nuclear winter, and hungry survivors. Now, the EPA wants to use genetic engineering to revive horses and other large mammals rather than engineering death claws with laser guns. I love how there's a death claw in this image of homie on a horse. And he's in a quarry. Is that Deathclaw Quarry from New Vegas? Did somebody make a horses mod for New Vegas or something, and that's where that comes from? Add horses, which grants supply consumption and reconnaissance. Oh my God. Okay. So that's the Gek Project stuff done. Let's do stripping the vaults. My eyes! Man. Nice, we got the new rifles. Let's go. We got the most advanced ballistic rifle now. Oh yeah, we did everything in the naval stuff. Yeah, that's right. That is correct. Good style. We need to do air stuff now because I need nuclear jet fighters. Now, what is this? Adaptive compartmentalization. So that gives air defense and reliability. Nuclear jet fighters. And now let's throw these bad boys up here. Sub levels orange and yellow. After everything Koi has done, not done, gone through, he was dreading going further down. Arriving at sublevel orange, these fears were seemingly justified, being that it was just offices, conference rooms, and cafeterias. Who knows went on in these bloody, curdling cafeterias, sinister conference rooms, and ominous offices. Eventually, the soldiers patrolled the area and discovered nothing was amiss. Even after 3 extensive searches, there was nothing bizarre about the place. In fact, Koi is actually hopeful that they could be renovated in short order. Further down in sublevel yellow was the power for the facility, and engineers are on their way to restore it past emergency power and get the place up and running. We could practically hear the relief in Koi's report, as the past few hours have been very fruitful and was more in line than when he was expecting. The only problems discovered were some hazardous material found shoved in a back room, which were quickly neutralized by EPA specialists. That's good news. Something's going to happen. There's no way that it's just all good. Oh, yeah, let me do this too, because our air is here. We did have the other air also. I'm going to attach... Oh, God, who's here, actually? I can't remember what unit. I think it's this unit, right? Yeah, okay, it's that unit. Okay, I want all of this CAS to be attached to that unit, because I know they have 150 air already attached to them. There we go. Oh, so the kudzu overgrowth can fall. But we had took most of it in the first place. They didn't have, like, any victory points or anything, so I was a little confused about the overgrowth when taking it. We have defeated the kudzu overgrowth. Oh, God. Oh, wait, no. No. Wait, no, this does. Wait. Oh, okay, but they can't get across this. That's right. So they're probably going to take this area of the kudzu, because now it's technically ours, but they shouldn't be able to get across this area. Oh, there is a strait right here. I did not see the strait.
This is Enclave maincom.
Okay, they're all trying to go this way now. Who's mostly out? They're all mixed. Oh, okay. Let's grab...
Fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
Okay, this is a mixed unit, which most of these mixed units are actually good to go here. I'm going to have you guys do this and push up to here at least right now. Please.
This is Enclave maincom.
Cult of Corn. Children of the Corn.
This is Enclave maincom.
Yeah, just please quickly finish this off. I want that to be done with.
This is Enclave maincom.
What unit is this? Because they don't have a mission now. Okay. Do I have you join up with... Yeah, since you're a full unit, I'm going to have you guys join up there and push down this way with them. Do we have any other units that are just kind of like hanging about? Yes, we do. Oh. Okay, that's the Chicago Enclave territory knocked out. I need... What unit is this? This is... These guys, okay. Yeah, I need to push those guys out so they can actually do this as an entire front, which would be great. Okay, so they're all attached. So it's just these guys for the most part then that just aren't attached to a unit right now. Yeah, these other guys are pushing out into the kudzu also. You know what? Make your way down here and just help them, because they're kind of the closest ones to like an actual enemy front right now. Sublevel green. Nothing good lasts forever. The green level was filled with a poisonous gas, which would have incapacitated out soldiers if they weren't in power armor. A sample of it was collected and sent off for study, and special hazmat suits and air filters were given to teams to explore the level. According to Director 0000, the level was for animal and biological testing, and that one of the tests got out of hand, and the test being a mutated Venus man trap. It was here that much of the EPA's previous human staff were killed, and the level locked down as skeletons of them and pre-war animals littered the place. In his report, Koi expected such an endeavor, and was why he brought demo teams armed with flamers, sending them down. The team promptly torched the mutated Venus man trap after discovering its location. Though 200 years of poisonous gas means the level will be off limits until the fumes can be neutralized. Ironically, the gas did perfectly preserve plant life, including several trees in a arboretum that Koi hopes he can study to replicate across the wasteland. Good. No more craziness, right?
And the fucking president's watching us like a
Okay, so I have another unit over here that's not attached to anybody. I just need to, like, get all these guys together and just do them as a field marshal unit again. Because, oh my god. It does get kind of annoying doing all these guys. But I had to originally because there was just so many openings everywhere. Okay, I want to stretch you guys all the way across. Who else is here? These guys. I want to stretch you guys all the way across. This way, I'm not also murdering all of their supply. And then let's stretch you guys all the way across. Perfect. Okay. That's good. We're looking good now, boys. Boyos. Okay, I need roads. Roads must be built. Okay, roads are still getting built. Just keep building. Just keep building. What do? You build. Build. And I'm just going to build this one here for the time being. Also. Since it's like right there. Because the nice thing is you don't always need them attached to a road for a front. But if you want to stretch their supply area, then you do need a road. Crap. I meant to actually do air stuff for that. Let me change you over. Perfect. Okay, all these troops are moving now. Okay, that's just artillery. That's fine. Let me look back over here just to make sure there wasn't, like, some kind of invasion that happened. Because my luck, I'd look back and, like, half my country would be gone. Oh, the front line got cut off here. That's so annoying when that happens. I need some of you to go back across here and help him. Oh, Kirtland Nuclear Weapons Center. That was once the Air Force's Nuclear Weapons Center has survived the 200 years relatively intact. Of course, the bombs that hit the area damaged much of the base. The intervening 200 years in a dry and arid desert has done of the base the... Interventing 200 years in a dry and arid desert has done little to damage it further. Coupled with the automated defenses meant few scavengers picked the base apart. Those defenses thankfully answered to our codes, and after the Air Force secured the facility, NDOC teams moved in to begin restoration of the base itself. As per executive order, the facility is being restored for nuclear weapons integration and development. Furthermore, it will allow technicians to be able to assess long dormant nuclear weapons for viability after 200 years, and provide upgrades and repairs when and where needed. And Lanius was sitting on this. Rocket ready. Okay, so we got one of our rockets ready. Lawrence Liverpool National Labs. The LLNL, centered on the safety, security, and reliability of America's nuclear weapons. As such, NDOC has a large interest in the facility. None the least of which because the data stored here was wide-reaching applications to NDOC's mission. Most, if not all, of America's nukes right now are 200 years old. At best, the rest are likely to be made with equipment that is 200 years old. Data from the LLNL not only restores much of our lost knowledge on nuclear safety, but allows us to innovate beyond what even our pre-war predecessors had. While we may one day unleash nuclear fire once more, we will do so using the most secure and safe equipment unimaginable. How comforting. Kitsap nuclear storage. The Pacific submarine fleet was the concentration of the Navy's contribution to the nuclear triad. At any given time, 13 ballistic nuclear submarines were stationed off of China's coast, and Kitsap supplied every last one of them. When NDOC technicians pried open the storage doors, we found a few dozen nuclear warheads laying in wait. Having survived the hellish cold of Washington, most were so badly decayed they were radioactive ice balls. Regardless, NDOC have recovered all of them, and curiously, assessments show that you could build a few functional bombs out of these. A horrifying thought, knowing who controlled this area not too long ago. While ballistic nuclear submarines won't be making a return anytime soon, the Navy is working with NDOC to ensure proper procedures are in place for future warhead storage. Good thing the Brotherhood never got these. Pantex secured. Hidden away in Amarillo, Pantex was hit hard by nuclear weapons, and much of the base became an irradiated hellhole after the war. However, the pre-war government knew this, and much of the base's facilities were moved underground with help from Vault-Tec. Sadly, the constant false alarms meant no one heeded the warnings until the first bomb hit Armillo, and the rest was history. While the surface was largely scoured, underneath it was only irradiated, and we can fix that easily. As such, it has become the most important site for NDOC capture, a priority 1 target on the list since the command's inception. Pantex or Fantex, that might be, I think it's Pantex, was the primary nuclear weapons assembly and disassembly facility, and as such, it will become the new home of the Nuclear Defense Operations Command. Given its purpose to assemble nuclear weapons, NDOC plans to upgrade the base to begin production of nuclear weapons once all other nuclear sites have been secured and a roster of current nuclear weapons has been written. NDOC will then assess the viability of all nuclear weapons, and any seen unfit for active deployment will be sent to Pantex for disassembly, while a replacement is assembled at the same time. The surface will also be restored, giving new life to the old facility once more. Maybe we can clean up this plant. Recapturing Los Alamos National Laboratory. Suffice to say, we were a little shocked to discover a colony of ghouls living at Los Alamos, many of whom were remnants of the research scientists and military guards there. While the research into born ghouls is frightening, NDOC wishes to return the facility to working order, more particularly finding ways to combat radiation from our myriad of nuclear materials and systems across the wasteland. Several of the ghoul scientists left wished to come aboard, though it's obvious that they can't stay in the facility. A noble ghoul... Jesus. I said a noble ghoul indeed instead of a noble goal. Dang, we got a lot of command power from that. Like, all these, like, nuclear ones, dude, we're getting so much command power, which helps us a lot. Oh, yeah, somebody did say, too, that I should do a playthrough as, like, this Enclave group in Florida. The Southern Command Enclave group, which would be kind of cool because they're naval, but the only thing that's kind of sads me about the naval stuff is there's not a lot that goes into naval in this one. There's that weird black dot moving now since I did that. White Sands Research Center. White Sands, the place where it all began when humanity came to a fork in the road and took the path that led to some of the greatest inventions in history and led us down the path to the Great War. While nuclear testing on American soil was drawn down in the lead up to the Great War, White Sands took on another purpose, researching what combat would be like on a radioactive battlefield. Some of this data was used by our predecessors, but the bulk of it was left behind due to the Enclave's focus on small unit operations. Now, with this under our control, we could put much of this data to use. At the same time, Endok is having to secure the place from certain crazed religious groups who apparently worshipped the Trinity site. Why would you worship what destroyed us? Warren Air Force Base silos. You gain control of the silos at Warren Air Force Base. Lo and behold, they are empty. Warren was one of the few bases that never received the automated production silos, as it was scheduled for early 2078. Thus, with all its missiles spent, the base remained dormant for 200 years. Oh, so something I was wondering in Fallout 76 before, where the nuclear missile silos, where you can keep setting off nukes, I didn't realize that they were automated like that. Or I assumed they were, but I didn't know if that was like canon or if that was just something they did for Fallout 76 as like a feature for the game. But that's actually really cool. So the silos are automated production silos. So that makes sense why you could just keep setting off nukes in Fallout 76 then. Endok is preparing to refurbish and restore the silos, as well looking to making them automated in a similar method to Hopeville and Ashton. This is made difficult due to the large amount of feral ghouls that happen to infest the tunnels under the base, which are proving difficult to eradicate. While it will be some time before we get the base fully stocked, it's another arrow in our quiver should we ever face a threat that could destroy us. We destroyed the world with these. Yes, but we can also rebuild the world with them. Nice, we're actually surrounding the strait here for St. Petersburg also. Okay, I think that's... Okay, no, this is who they're at war against, yeah. It says we're at war against... Okay, so yeah. Oh my god, yeah, the Eastern Reconstruction are going to take that. The result of the Great War. Ever since the treaty with China, scholars and historians document. I think it's supposed to be took document, or I don't even... I think it's supposed to say historians documented the events, but the way that they have that written is like hurting my brain. Document the events leading to this day, as well as learning whatever we could about the Democratic People's Empire of China, in that they are not the People's Republic of China. While they trace their lineage, culture, infrastructure, and even elements of government from the People's Republic, they are different. Most obvious is the fact that they have an emperor, along with some of the feudal style of leadership that's run out of their version of vaults, which apparently are 3 times as big as even our largest vault. With all that being said, we've come to a single conclusion. Go on. We technically won! Being the People's Republic of China was destroyed in the Great War, and the Chinese Communist Party was destroyed by marauding U.S. forces. They didn't survive. Therein, the United States government, in the form of the Enclave on the oil rig, survived the Great War and returned to reforge the United States on the mainland. Thus, being the PRC ceased to exist and that the United States continued unbroken through the Enclave, we won the Great War, also known as World War III. Hooray! Back to back World War champs. Add USA, 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 which grants minus 5% stability, but a lot of other stuff. Hooray? Question mark? And we won, but at what cost? We lose daily... Oh, that just lowers daily political power costs. Nah, dude. USA, USA, USA. I love it. You love to see it. Sub-level blue. Oh god, it's that image from the birthing of the ghoul children. While waiting for green to be cleared, Koi had a chat with hologram 0000, who Koi says is wonderful to converse with, since the hologram is just as frustrated with the facility as he is, and actually likes the fact that Koi has fired 12001 5 times now, put 0001 in his place, and fixed up 10031 so he could do his job. The hologram told Koi of a secret research project on the secret blue level and granted him access, especially since Koi is 000 boss. Descending into the level, Aside a few hazardous storage units, the level was filled with several people in suspended animation. Working quickly, EPA technicians secured the area and slowly brought these people out of hibernation, dazed and confused as they were. All of them were pre-war EPA scientists that put themselves in hibernation after the bombs fell and sublevel green was contaminated. They are very surprised that not only did the government survive, but that it has been 200 years. Despite a few trying to jostle for power, Hoi told them that he was the director of the EPA and sent them off to New Reno for medical and psychological tests. You know, I would like to meet these people. Hello, I am President Granis. Well, they got their work cut out for them. We gained 75 manpower. Let's meet them. Hello, I am President Granite. As a vertibird carrying the pre-war EPA scientists flew over the shattered post-war wasteland, many were in shock. Even after 200 years, much of the land was a barren desert, and off to the north was a massive green cloud. The pilots noted was a rad storm. After asking what a rad storm was, they promptly wished they didn't. Because, you know, these are EPA scientists, so they're like environmental scientists. So to them, seeing a rad storm must be crazy. Was promptly wished they didn't. As they arrived at the vertipad at the EPA offices, they were met by several power-armored soldiers standing before brick house of a man with a winning smile. The man introduced himself as Douglas Granite, President of the United States of America, and personally welcomed them into the post-war world. In a small speech, he thanked them for their service and that their country needed them not now. I think it's supposed to be now more than ever, but they put not more than ever. We don't need you more than ever. We just need you to do this, but we don't need you. In the country, well, the planet was healing, but slowly. Scientific progress had been set back centuries in many parts of the world, and that only the United States of America had the power to fix this broken and damaged world. Granite spoke that their pre-war knowledge and expertise was valuable more than ever, and that he was pleading with them to turn this blighted, barren wasteland that he knew back into the lush green world that they once knew. Not a single one of the pre-war scientists were going to let him down. They got their work cut out for them. Man, does that mean it's been restored now, or are we still waiting a little bit? So I just had to check this because there is Fallout London for Fallout 4, and I was wanting to try this in the past, but I totally forgot about it. And kind of just remembered that it's a thing. And so I just looked it up, and it is done. I might do a playthrough of that on the channel too for Fallout London, because that sounds really fun, and I would really like to see what happened in the UK. But I also got to look to see if whatever happened is off of canon content, or is it just like fan-made content for Fallout London, because I would actually really like to know that. But either way, I feel like that would be really cool, and it'd be like a breath of fresh air, because apparently there's a lot in it, and I would actually really like to try it. Oh, there's a front line right here that is not stretching across like it should be. Yeah, go this way, please, and actually stretch that across. Thank you. Another NCR expedition. The reconnaissance teams inform us about having reached the Atlantic Ocean shores, claiming that the fauna is very different from those in the West Coast. And as such, our cleaning forces alongside the EPA are already gathering and reading to make their way over. Gathering and reading to make their way over. What? I think that's supposed to be readying, but it says reading. What we did not expect, however, was finding a whole base flying the NCR flag this far into the east. Our scouts approached the sentries outside, who greeted them and guided them inside after reluctant or rudimentary checkups. They seemingly did not know of the Enclave coming back or the reformation of the United States. And as such, the pleasantries remained until the officer in charge had a talk with their leader, Governor Franklin. Our troops were immediately expelled from the premises after suggesting that the expedition could rejoin the U.S. Army, as the rest of the NCR armed forces have back west, which they are convinced is a fabricated lie to catch them off guard. It wasn't until days later when our forces returned accompanied by power armored platoons, tanks, and most importantly, Aaron Kimball, accompanied by a small force of elite rangers. Kimball, who was a decorated war veteran and retired general by the time they left, managed to convince Governor Franklin to honorably integrate into the U.S. While he and his men would be allowed to return home or stay in California if they so wished, they could. Should they stay, the supply scarcity and the lack of able-bodied adults will never be a problem again, or if they return home, they will be welcomed as heroes. Governor Franklin will have to consider what to do with his men, but the process to integrate with the U.S. is now official. Kimball, on the other hand, returned back west, where he shall have his sentence reduced for his help. Might be enough to keep him in house arrest instead of prison. Welcome home. So we annex the East Coast Expedition. That's cool. Okay. As so many of our troops are just like pushing everywhere. I know we need probably more roads and stuff up here, don't we? Sort of, yeah. I love how we're rebuilding a lot of the bases. We just don't have the roads for said bases. I'm just gonna do something like this. Which we're not really building them quick enough. Not quick enough that I like. Let's see, do I have a... That's for factories. I was hoping I kind of had one that I could pay for to get more infrastructure built. So have you guys ran into actual people yet? No, not yet. They're almost there, though. Mostly I'm getting slowed down by not having enough supply from roads. Oh my god, they retook St. Petersburg. You know, it's one guy on it. Go take him out. They don't have a front there anymore. Hey, where did you just... Oh, there's a strait there. I didn't see that. Crap, we don't have that as many guys on this front, though. Okay. I need you three to take him out and then push into the assembly there. Hey, we can now annex the American Brotherhood. What troops did they have left over that they made? Oh, they actually made a bunch more troops? Oh, no. Okay. So these were troops that were already in, like, under our command here. I just gotta, like, redistribute them out.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Crap, that puts him at 44. Okay. Wait, Deathclaw Auxiliary Division. There's no Deathclaws in here. What are you talking about? What do you mean Deathclaw Auxiliary Regiment? Are they killing Deathclaws? Because I ain't seen no Deathclaws, good sir. Oh, nope, wrong person. This one. There we go. Like, I don't know what you talking about, my man. You out here speaking crazy. Oh, wait. I could change these guys now, can I? Yeah. Why didn't I just do that? I didn't think about that. And then let's move. Because I think I might have openings anywhere. No, I do not actually have really any openings anywhere. Okay. You know what? Just go defend some ports. I don't exactly need you all now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, go do other things. We're destroying this person's navy that came out of nowhere. I'm only seeing their naval units now. Nice, another outpost established. So that wasn't the fall of St. Petersburg, so we still have Venice down here that's holding out. But we're pushing for it. We're almost there. Okay, air. Okay, we're researching all of the new air there. Could go with the flying fortresses too, but I want to start researching these. Okay, nice. We took Venice. Their capital moved again to Cape Coral.
Excellent.
Sub-level indigo. Dude, how many levels are in this place? Jesus. From poison and hibernation, we've returned to the bazaar, arriving on the level after sub-level green had been cleared out of the poison. The team investigation found the level to be contaminating conducting experiments on humans. By that, we mean there were charts and graphs comparing male and female bodies to one another and multiple operating tables. After the level was deemed to be secure, non-power armored soldiers moved in to secure the area. That was where things went sideways. A Lieutenant Disney was accidentally pulled into an auto dock. After several minutes of trying to get the thing open to rescue him, the thing opened and we finally found out why there were so many male and female medical charts. A scan of some of the terminals found that this level was working with the military on gender reassignment for some covert operation that we'll never know about. We've offered Lieutenant Disney to go back through, but she is openly refusing to enter the auto dock again and actually seems happier now. A request has been sent up Human Resource Command to have her name changed to Callista Disney. What? Just what? Dev here. You think I'm making this up? This was in the Fallout 2 design document, and it said sub-level indigo was, and I quote, the top secret research into gender modification. Look up Fallout Bible number 6 if you don't believe me. Oh my god, I could see that though. Definitely if you have spies. Because you gotta think, if China and the US were like having a lot of spies against each other with the communist spies, you know, maybe they get a list of our spies and it's like, hey, they have, we see 3 spies here that are male by this name and they look like this. Well, the spies that are actually there have been changed to female gender and their name is under a female. Better living above ground. So we did stripping the vaults. The vaults were not designed to save anyone. They were designed for the American eternity, to help America leave this world and surviving on desolate planets. Many vaults are failing after some 200 years, but there's still plenty of industrial gear we can refurbish and maintain. But some scientists have suggested we can always do more research. Knowledge is the greatest treasure, so we get 3% research speed. We could put those fusion plants in our cities. So resource gain efficiency. We don't really need that. Let's do research. We'll gain that little bit of extra research there. So this is the labor stuff. So we can do Fair Labor Act or Automated America. Actually, let me see something. Do we have any of this yet? We do not have any of that yet. Okay, so I think we need to take out the other Enclave to retake, like, the DC area. And then once we take the DC area, we can implement some of that other stuff over there for the government. Is how I think that will go. Okie dokie. Oh, so you could have, so I could have just invited Honduras into our fold or go to war against them. Unlock the Mexican resistance decision category. Mexican resistance is tracked in the image itself. Decide the fate of America's old dominion in Canada. Shall they be reminded to mind their Uncle Sam or be set free? It's funny that they say that because they actually were annexed in the story. Like they were taken and then annexed into the United States. So they were technically not a thing for a while in the Fallout world. Mexico was invaded for their oil reserves, but I think we just had an occupation. I don't think we actually fully annexed them into the United States. It probably was going to happen, though, honestly. Because, like I said, it happened to Canada. We probably would have done it to them, but then the whole, you know, nuclear war stuff dropped. Ooh, every man a car. This will actually get us technology for rebuilding the interstate. Does that help us rebuild roads quicker? I want to see what that does. Let's do that. Because a lot of what I'm needing right now is roads and infrastructure. Dude, this floor in war in Florida. I must say this floor in Florida is almost what I said. I don't know whose navy I'm taking, but apparently they have more power over them right now. So I'm just I'm taking their navy because I can't take any of their states. Oh, hello, people here.
Why isn't your video feed working?
Let's see if they push out of that straight real quick. That way we can possibly kill them off from behind if they do push out of that straight. Oh, hey. A lot of our naval ports are getting built here.
Enclave here.
I want you to push this way so I can put naval ports on this side of the river. They do actually have troops in this area. Okay, so the Ohio Raiders, even though it says unoccupied wasteland, they do have people here. Okay. So the unoccupied wasteland doesn't mean that they're not technically here, I guess, with people. I don't know, that's so weird. Yeah, convoys is definitely going to be the main way of us getting supplies up here easier and quicker. Oh, okay, they are pushing out. Let's just let them push out a little bit more. Let them do their thing. Ooh.
Excellent.
Can I get you guys? Okay, so they're pushing here. So if I take
A few more moments and I'll have your
this,
scenario in a sling. Have a nice day.
we'll actually surround that. Okay, I need you guys to push this way. Yeah, get that upper area surrounded. Oh, we're pushing them out, though. Crap, they're going to move out of there too quickly. Yeah, they did. That's fine, though, because we're pushing them out and we're overrunning them pretty heavily there.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
I want two of you just to push to Cape Coral there so that we can just capitulate them. Oh, auto-saving? Okay, there we go. Okay, we're pushing into here, which they actually have a lot of guys here, too. A lot of power armor troops, too, in Van Buren. Oh, see, these guys' power armor troops actually have a decent amount of support units, too, though. But some of them don't. It's very little. Sub-level Violet. After the fiasco at Lieutenant Disney, the poisonous gas, and the nightmares of the surface, Koi was a little concerned as to what was on level Violet. Director 00000, I think I did too many zero, I think I did one too many, itself didn't exactly know, stating that damage to his memory banks were preventing him from accessing it. A series of robots were sent in first and reported back all clear. When the soldiers entered the sublevel, they realized it was the facility's data and memory storage, completed with a collapsed server bank for Director 0000. Which is why he didn't remember what the level was about. Data analysts and engineers have been called in to help recover, restore, and back up the data, as well as a deep dive into them to find anything useful, as well as reprogramming and repairing the damaged AI directors of the site. Well, they would have had Koi had not run in there with a super sledge he found and smashed up all but the director of science, because Koi actually liked him. Director of ground maintenance, since that one did its job, and the director of public relations, whose presence has been a morale boost for personnel on site. Or of particular note, he spent an inordinate amount of time destroying director of operations, so much so he broke the super sledge. With that, the entire facility has been secured, and Koi is now hoping to make it his new central office here in the next few weeks. Well earned, Director. Well earned. The new EPA, dude, he smashed them up. The new EPA, with the facility restored and running, Director Koi was proud to announce the rebuilding of the EPA from its new Californian offices. It is, oh God, dude. It is his hope that the research data recovered can be put to restoring the wasteland, and that the research labs can be put to good use in revitalizing Wasteland and begin restoring it to its pre-war state in the coming decades. For now, however, the EPA is to start working on cleanup of various radioactive sites, focus on engineering new types of radiation-resistant crops, and work with the newly minted Department of Agriculture, who has been second to the EPA by order of the president, to create better farming methods to maximize crop yield and avoid unnecessarily destroying the environment any further than it already has. However, Director Koi states that he has a team of pre-war scientists found in the EPA building that will be hard at work trying to bring plant life back to the wasteland, and that it is his hope that the term wasteland will soon become nothing more than a memory and a 9-word letter. Good, I'm tired of desert. This is going to take decades, isn't it? Oh, yes, decades. The EPA can now undertake missions to help restore the wasteland. Ooh, buddy. Let's establish another outpost. This is definitely going into another episode for sure. I honestly thought we'd sweep across the rest of everybody, but we haven't been going as fast as I thought we would be, if I'm being honest. Clean up nuclear waste, and we're out of PP. Investigate organ anomaly. So Environmental Protection Agency, it's in the name. When Director Koi took on trying to rebuild the EPA, he envisioned it more restoring the environment to a post-war state, lush green fields, trees that weren't dead, even getting rid of rad storms. His biggest threat he thought he would tackle would be illegal toxic waste dumps or the occasional radioactive crater. So far, the illegal toxic waste dumps were the least of his concerns, and all of it was making him question leaving the army. Aside the cavalcade of absurdity that was trying to restore the EPA offices, he'd found himself not rejuvenating soil, but checking combat reports of EPA teams battling feral ghouls, tracking down rumors of a strange radiation worshipping cult, and then there was a matter of flushing out sewer systems in cities that more often than not were host to strange cults and animal fight clubs. Animal fight clubs. It was getting to the point. Wait, it was getting the point. What? I think they're trying to say it was getting to the point where he was happy when a feral ghoul was removed. Then he got the report of Flesh Forest of Oregon, and he thought it was a sick joke or a prank. He thought it was kind of funny at first, given how absurd it was. Then the Secret Service arrived to escort him to the White House, and his smile faded. Why? This is not what I signed up for. Koi stared at the patch of what he was told was grass before him. It looked like it was made of skin, its roots looked like veins, and it had creepy, unnerving, hollow faces that seemed to follow movement of one of his escorts, who also just saw the thing for the first time, stuck a stick towards it, and everyone in the room visibly recoiled when said grass reacted, including President Douglas Granite. So yeah, Director Koi, meet your newest problem. I'm sure you were briefed on the flight over. Douglas Granite tried to ease the tension in the room. This is not what I signed up for, said Koi, in a dull monotone. I mean, why does a forest of flesh even exist? Oh, man. That's what I want you to find out. It's contained, but I want it eradicated. Find out what the hell is going on in Oregon. You have the nation's assets at your disposal. What do you need? Asked Douglas Granite. Koi looked at the disturbing grass on the table, one thing crossing his mind. Get me the chemical core. Nuke 'em. Nuclear bombing will commence in 5 days. If you have any units in Crow's Haven, get them out now. Gets event, first, last, and only resort. Get me the chemical core. Gets event, chemical core, or how I learned to love FEV. Oh, because we did do FEV testing for animals and plants too. I would love to nuke it though, honestly. But I feel like the use of nukes would be an issue in of itself. But then we're also using FEV, which is also an issue in of itself, which is funny. God, dude, look at this. I love how the Gunrunners is the same color as us, and so is the Western Enclave. So it looks like we have all this territory when we actually don't. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, I don't exactly... Oh, there's Oregon. I was like, I don't exactly know where Oregon is. So it's over here. We don't actually have... So it's here. This is where the Flesh Forest is. It'd be cool if they had a little Flesh Forest thing here when you click it. God, I really want to nuke it, to be honest. Let's see what happens if we nuke it. Nuke 'em. It said 5 days, right? I'm just gonna go to 5 speed and just let it roll. God, where was it again? Oh, there it is. What was their navy looking like? Oh, their navy was stripped down, dude. We decimated their navy too. Bro, let the nukes go off. Jesus. First, last, and only resort. Koi was not playing around, nor was he about to subject himself to the horror of dealing with an entire region filled with growth of human flesh. Something as vile as that could destroy the very earth as we know it. It took some convincing to get President to sign off on it, but after some debate, the Air Force recovered several nuclear, I think we recovered several nuclear devices, not several nuclear devices from Ashton, and delivered them for fitting on a series of bombers in Eastern Oregon. Evacuation calls were sent across the board. In 3 days' time, the bombs would be dropped over the accursed area, and anyone alive would be caught in the blast. Only the fools who refused to leave on the last military or far, I guess it was last military evacuation, or go far trade caravan remained. May God have mercy on their souls, because man sure won't. Skies over Oregon. The flight bombers spread out as they heard their drop zone. In total, we're seeing what? In total, were 7 bombers needed to completely annihilate the flesh forest. And while steps were made, parts of Crow's Haven would be caught in the blast. The bombardiers noted when the ground below them changed from what forest was starting to regrow to what looked like human skin, even from this altitude. It was a wonder word of this nightmare hadn't spread further, though in the Wasteland nothing was impossible. So wait, it grew back? When the signals went off, each bomber let loose. Okay, no, they didn't drop it yet. They're just saying it looked like flesh. Their payload and broke off the bombs were set to detonate just above the ground to ensure that not too much of whatever was below them wasn't kicked up. Many people swore there was an extra sunrise in the skies over Oregon that day. Wipe the area clean. Crow's Haven. So it doesn't actually show a nuke. I'm a little sad. At the center of all was the future tech offices, the trade city of Crozon. I want to do the other route, though, for our main route, just because I want to see if we get to the labs to be able to see what it was, because I think this just destroys the labs. Has always been off-putting and was one of the saving graces for far-off traders during the trade wars in 2256. Regardless, the convoy made way for the future tech offices that were at the epicenter of this nightmare. The combined EPA and Chemical Corps Spiral was making headway, and with specially modified vehicles, the group made their way to the offices. The compound itself had seen better days, with massive veins resembling human flesh growing out from within. Both Coy and Dowdy knew this is where it began and where it was going to end. At Dowdy's signal, a platoon of modified tanks, cold from the NCR, were brought up, each one equipped with chemical sprayers that went to work. By now, hissing didn't even phase them. About damn time. Oh, so the lab wasn't destroyed? Okay. See, I thought the lab would get destroyed, but it looks like the lab wasn't destroyed. So we have some other options, but I guess that'll be for... So we'll keep where we're at now. I thought it would, like, destroy the offices and stuff, but if we can actually see what happened there, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. Wait, Death Claws. Wait, no, those are Florida Gators. Those aren't Death Claws. They have the Death Claw thing, but they're called the Florida Gators. So I'm guessing they just have Death Claw units. Oh, and I love how they look like tribal too, as their unit models. So we're fighting actual Death Claws now. That's crazy. I'm gonna end the episode here. I am honestly surprised we didn't take out Florida by now. but I don't think we really moved that far in the amount of days just because of the pure amount of reading that has been done this episode. I do hope, you guys did enjoy this episode. We will be going the other route with China probably towards the end of the game because it doesn't seem like it took that long. And just going through that because I really want to see how that went. But I'll probably be naming this episode Shooting the Chinese Emperor because that was hilarious. I loved that so much. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Night Up's out.